Further referring, my dear friends, for a kind consideration, the concept, elementary issues, intermediate level syllabus only it is. Person in charge with regard to vessel master, aircraft commander pilot, train conductor guard, vehicle driver, other conveyance person in charge. Why you are referring, sir, person in charge so greatly by defining they have the responsibilities on their shoulders. When they're coming to India and departing from India, they have to fulfill certain procedural aspects and the customs. Otherwise, person in charge is liable for penalty up to rupees 50,000. Therefore, who is the person in charge? Refer there. Further referring here, the concept of bill of export. What do you mean this? How to understand this? Bill of export. Especially when the goods are moving by road from India to a country outside India, we have the land route to Nepal, to Bhutan, to Bangladesh. In fact, we have land route to Pakistan also, but that is not much encouraging route. So, if the goods are moving by land route, the exporter who exporting the goods in a vehicle through land route should get prior permission from Department of Customs by submission of bill of export, which means exporter of any goods shall make entry thereof by presenting to the proper officer in the case the goods are to be exported by land, bill of export in the prescribed form to seek the prior permission to export the goods. Department of Customs verify what type of goods are exporting. Okay, is it general goods? Fine, allowed to export. Hey, Mr. Entry outward granted. Let export. Order granted to that particular exporter on such bill of export. After that, only the loading of the goods can be takes place in the vehicle for export by land route. What do you mean by arrival manifest? Arrival manifest. How to understand arrival manifest? To know the arrival manifest, you should also know the departure manifest. Arrival manifest, departure manifest. Arrival manifest also be called in case where the land route where the goods are coming in a vehicle to India, Indian port, Indian land customs, import report, export report. What are these other terminologies? Here I mentioned arrival manifest or import manifest or import report. The person in charge, just now I told you, should submit arrival manifest or import manifest prior to the date of arriving to Indian port or airport. In the case of import report, when the goods are coming to India in a vehicle, registered to land customs, from the time of arrival to the land customs, within 12 hours from the time of arrival, within 12 hours should submit the import report. What is it? I will explain to you. On account of failure to submit in a proper manner, they are liable for penalty up to rupees 50,000. Who responsible to submit? In person in charge should submit. When? In case of arrival manifest or import manifest, before or prior to the arrival of the vessel or aircraft should submit in the office of the customs. In the case of import report, goods coming by land route, the importer should submit, I mean to say, the in charge, person in charge of the vehicle, namely driver, should submit within 12 hours after its arrival in customs station. On account of failure of this, penalty on such person in charge is up to rupees 50,000. Now, what do you mean by arrival manifest? What do you mean by departure manifest? Unless you understand too difficult to further explain these points. I will explain now. Arrival manifest or import report. What is it is I will explain to you. Followed by departure manifest or an export manifest or otherwise export report. What do you mean this? Also I will explain to you now. Let us refer here with the help of diagrammatic presentation. Now I am going to present this here. Dear friends, whenever you say the export and import, the person in charge plays vital role. First, I will explain to you in the given case export of goods concept. Then I will explain to you import of goods concept. Reason, import of goods does not arise unless there is an export takes place. Resultantly, I am now going to bring to a notice first export procedure here. Export procedure. How in a simplified manner by bringing the terminology. I am going to highlight importance with regard to terminology. I am talking about exports. Export. I am talking about export. In the given case of exports, assume a scenario here. There is a particular Indian company, let us say X Limited, Mrs. X Limited, located in Chennai, means in India. They are the manufacturer of finished product. Yes. So, madam given me a tea, cup of tea. With this atmosphere, if I'm not going to have it, it will get cold tea. So, just to give me few seconds. I'm holding this recording also going on. I will explain by having that cup of tea. Yes, please, please. What we call no uh, coffee with Rafi Sir, tea with Rafi Sir, tea with Rafi Sir. People telling na tea with Rafi Sir, coffee with Rafi Sir, a program like that. And take a fun. Don't get seriousness of the subject and all. Simple subject is lollipop, customs and a lollipop. Practically, I'm explaining because I have involved practically for my company when I was manager finance. I'm talking about 25 years before. When I headed manager finance, my company EOU that time 100% EOU. We are import or export. We used to execute the bonds while importing the goods without payment of import duty, and we fulfill the exports. We used to go for export incentives. We used to claim duty drawback for our company on those days. Therefore, practically I'll explain to you. Don't worry at all. You people are involved in the export import in your company side? Yes? Have come across or you are only software, only sir, C++, C++, Java, ERP, only sir, we are not in the export import. For a cost accountant especially, import export is a core area. As I told you, there is a custom broker. Examination for custom broker is conducting by the Department of Customs. Custom broker qualification, CMA final pass certificate, CA final pass certificate, or the MBA finance. Like that certificate is having, and that like qualification you have, you can able to write the exam online conducting by the Department of Customs. If you qualify, you become a panel member in the department to advise to import or exporters as a customs broker. Have you involved in any point of time, my dear friends, of uh, import or export of your clients to your companies? Yes, I'm asking you. Sometimes, but have you interacted? Very good. Have you experienced that? Mm. Exports, huh? Exports. Okay. After that export, mm. 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 Very good. Very good. Now come back. Referring to you here, my dear, the concept of export. Assume a scenario in the given case. In the given case, X Limited Chennai manufacturer manufacturing the goods from, let us say here, Mrs. A Incorporation of USA. There is a purchase order to them. Purchase order for the want of so and so goods. He agreed to supply it. He agreed to supply it. He manufactured those goods. Now, that goods are in the factory. Here, to manufacture the finished goods, what are the things are required? This fellow should incur what? Cost of raw material. Thereafter, overheads altogether. Overhead includes packing cost also. Then the goods are moving from his factory to Chennai port, Chennai port, where vessel is halted for loading the goods. It is a vessel. Is a vessel. Now this exporter, now he's an exporter. He got purchase order. No, he's an exporter. He's an importer, as you are aware of that. He's an importer. He's an exporter. Want to export the goods because he got purchase order. He incurred the expenditure, all the raw material, overhead, packing cost, and also incurring the expenditure for transporting the goods in a vehicle. In a vehicle, goods has been loaded, transported to port. At the port, these goods loaded, loaded into the vessel. It's called boat. Vessel is called what? The place is called boat. Is a boat. Goods has been loaded on boat. Up to that, Who incurred the expenditure? Up to that, who incurred the expenditure? Exporter. Exporter. Therefore, from the importer point of view, since all the expenditure incurred by the exporter up to the point of loading the goods on board, from importer point of view, up to that expenditure incurred by the exporter only, therefore, importer not incurred expenditure, from the importer point of view, it is free. Free of what? Free up to board. Free on board. Actually, nothing is free, but expenditure incurred by the exporter till the point of bringing the goods and loading on board. From importer point of view, since the importer not incurred that expenditure, it is from the angle of the importer, it is free on board from the importer point of view. Now goods are loaded where? On board, and reaching to importer place. When it reaches to importer place, the vessel, the moment reaches to the place of the importer, importer has to pay the cost for the goods or not. The free on board, the free on board will become cost, a cost, because the price of the goods he has to make the payment to the exporter, and from the exporter country port to the country of importer port, there is insurance, there is freight. Insurance and freight. Who incurred this expenditure? Importer incurred. Therefore, the importer has to pay cost to the goods. Therefore, will become cost plus incur should be incur is insurance, transit insurance plus freight. F. Together, this together we called as CIF. Now, all our exports should be at FOB value. Free on board means FOB. When the goods are reached the importer port, then it is called as CIF value. Now I explain to you the meanings of FOB, the meaning of CIF. Now come back. I want to address here the term departure manifest. Departure manifest. Look here, there is a term called as departure manifest. If you look here, departure manifest or export manifest. What do you mean this? I will tell you here in the given example is as follows here. Departure manifest or export manifest. Here what happened, this particular X Limited loaded the goods on the vessel. Prior to the loading of the goods to the vessel, this particular exporter is an exporter. This exporter should submit. Shipping bill. Where to submit? In the office of the customs to seek the prior permission. Shipping bill is to be submitted by the exporter who want to export the goods through sea or by air. Bill of export is to be submitted by the exporter who exported the goods through land route. So in the given case, exporting the goods through sea, the exporter should submit the shipping bill in the office of customs, obtain the permission. Yes, let export order granted. After granting the let export order, this exporter loaded into that vessel the particular goods intended to export. In that case, the vessel in charge, I told you, person in charge of the vessel. Who is the person in charge of the vessel? I told you, he is a master. This master of the vessel providing proof of delivery of the goods to X Limited, whose goods permitted to load into the boat, for which the master of the vessel issuing acknowledgement, which is called as bill of lading. If the same goods are handed over to the air cargo, the pilot in charge of the aircraft will issue airway bill. If the same goods has been handed over to the truck driver for transporting the goods by land route, the truck driver will issue consignment note. So similar to that, one documents of title on account of handing over of the goods to master of the vessel. The master of the vessel, after receiving the goods, he will issue a acknowledgement called as airway bill. What is that called as? Airway. Here it is a bill of lading. Vessel na bill of lading, aircraft na airway bill. So here the master of the vessel will issue a documents of title as an acknowledgement of receipt of the goods, namely called as bill of lading. Bill of lading. To whom issued? To the exporter whose goods permitted load into the boat. Now, like that, the master of the vessel might have been issued to various exporters whose goods has been loaded into the vessel, who are already obtained the permission from the Department of Customs by submission of shipping bill. By submission of shipping bill by the various exporters, got the permission to export the goods in the vessel, and by showing that particular shipping bill to the vessel in charge, namely master, loaded the goods into the vessel, and to them, to various exporters, the master of the vessel issued bill of lading copy, nothing but acknowledgement copy. In that case, that list prepared by the master of the vessel to whom issued bill of lading copies, country of origin, country of destination, exporter, exporter address, importer, importer address, nature of the goods and all. The list is prepared by the master of the vessel is technically called as export manifest or departure. Departure, I said no, departure. Here, if you see here, you come across this. Departure manifest or export manifest. Departure or export manifest. That has been prepared by whom? The master of the vessel. Like that, airway bills copies issued by the master or the in charge of the aircraft pilot, or otherwise, like that, consignment notes issued by the in charge of the vehicle, namely driver, in case of export through land route. In that case, it is prepared by the driver by permitting to their vehicle that goods to export. In that case, that particular name is called as export report. Export report when will come? When the goods are loaded in the vehicle after obtaining the permission from Department of Customs. Goods loaded into the vehicle in charge, namely driver, will issue the consignment notes to various exporters whose goods permitted to load in the vehicle. In that case, to whom he issued the consignment notes, list prepared. That list name is called as export report in case of land route. In case of through sea or by air, it is called as export manifest or export manifest, repeating, export manifest or departure manifest. That particular export manifest or the departure manifest, or in case of land route, bill of export report, in case of land route, export report should be submit where, in the office of the customs, prior to their departure, prior to their departure, prior to their departure. Department of Customs will verify what type of goods you are exporting in your conveyance. The goods are being granted a permission to export. All the shipping bills for which let export order has been granted, entry outward granted, very good. Then finally, Department of Customs will issue a order called as let export order. Hey, Mr. In charge of the vessel, master, we verified your departure manifest. Perfect. Permitted you to carry the goods from our Chennai port to your destination country. In that case, such a permission entry outward granted to the conveyance. Let export order granted to the conveyance. After obtaining the entry outward, after the let export order, then this particular vessel in charge, master, in a given example, is competent to move the vessel from the Chennai port, in our given example, to the USA port. The moment the vessel reaches to importer port, the same departure manifest or the export manifest without any modification from the importer country point of view is called as arrival manifest or import manifest. If the goods are coming by land route, export report. From the importer country point of view, import report without any modification. Now you got the concept of departure manifest or export manifest. If the goods are exporting by land route, export report. The same reaches to the importer country, departure manifest is called arrival manifest or export manifest is called as import manifest from the importer country point of view. In the case of goods land route exporting, export report from the importer country point of view is called as import report. It is as simple as this, my dear friends. Damn easy to make you understand the subject. Any doubt in the given scenarios? Yes? Fine. Let us refer here. Further, come back. So, having this conceptual understanding, I am bringing to a notice furthermore. So, departure manifest, export manifest. You understand? Export report. You understand? Thereafter, you can say that in a simplified manner, in the given case, you can say that in a simplified manner, the arrival manifest or import manifest. In the case of land route, import report. Such a arrival manifest or import manifest or the import report should be submitted by the person in charge in case of a arrival manifest prior to the date of arrival of the vessel aircraft. In the case of the import report, within 12 hours from the time of the arrival, should submit in the office of the customs. Otherwise, you are liable to pay penalty up to rupees 50,000. Who is liable to pay? Person in charge. Who is the person in charge? For different modes, different persons. Vessel, master, aircraft, commander, train, conductor, vehicle, driver, other, any person in charge. they are liable to pay penalty if they violate the provisions. With this, we understand the concept of the person in charge, bill of export, thereafter arrival manifest, thereafter departure manifest. Now I am bringing to notice one judiciary pronouncement. Tirupati Udyog Limited. What is it is? How to understand this? Tirupati Udyog Limited case. How to understand this? It is the Andhra Pradesh High Court decision. High Court judgments has one importance. High Court is the Supreme Court of the state. Supreme Court is a supremo for the whole country, Union of India. Now come back. When I manufacture the goods supplied to a unit of SEZ, I am from DTA, domestic tariff area. From my manufacturing place, I supply the goods to special economic zone unit. Special economic zone is separate island within the territory of India. If so, am I liable to pay custom duties? In the case of Tirupati Udyog Limited, Andhra Pradesh High Court said in the given case, it is neither attract any duty of customs under customs law nor under the SEZ Act. So, referring here, custom duty can be levied only on goods imported into or exported beyond the territorial waters of India. Section 12(1) of the Custom Act 1962 charging section is not attracted for supplies made by DTA unit to a unit located within the special economic zone. Therefore, goods cleared from DTA to SEZ are not liable to export duty either under the SEZ Act nor under the Customs Act. It is not going to attract either under the SEZ Act or under the Customs Act. So, neither of the Act levy of duty will attract. That means there won't be any duty of customs under customs law, there won't be any duty of under the SEZ Act in the case where goods has been supplied to special economic zone unit. Further, my dear friends, what do you mean by transit of goods? Transit and transshipment of goods. If you refer here, you will understand this point. In the case where one particular ship at USA port carrying the goods A, B, C and D, four type of goods carrying, reaches to India, Indian port, to Mumbai port, where unloaded product A and product B at Mumbai port. Product C and product D remains in the ship, which is further transshipped. I mean to say, what we call it is going to the other country called as Australia. Australia with the goods of product C and D. Now, actual number of goods sailed from USA A, B, C, D, four goods, unloaded at the Mumbai port in India A and B. C and D remains in the vessel which is destined to outside India. In that case, these C and D in India is called as transit goods. Goods came outside India, there remains in the vessel, in the ship, and going to other country as a destinated goods to other country. That means C and D is a transit goods in India. C and D levying of import duty does not arise. Now, if you wanted to levy duty only on A and B, if it is ultimate destination in India, C and D transit goods. Goods set to sail from a country outside India to a country outside India via India is called as transit goods. Coming further, what do you mean by transshipment of goods? What do you mean by transshipment of goods? Transshipment of the goods means, I will present here, from USA port, A, B, C and D goods are sailing in a vessel or ship, reaches to Mumbai port, unloaded A and B, and further that vessel with the C and D in the same, C and D is in the vessel ship, reaches to Australian port. C and D is called as transit goods in India. Unloaded goods at Chennai, Mumbai port, A and B. Out of A and B, A has been transshipped. A has been transshipped to Chennai port, ultimate destination. Further, from Mumbai port, product B transshipped to Sri Lankan port, namely ultimate destination to Sri Lanka. That means A and B, what is unloaded at Mumbai port, further shifted, namely transshipped to Chennai port, ultimate destination is Chennai, namely product A, and product B transshipped to Sri Lankan port outside India, which is ultimate destination to product B. Now, in this case, which goods are called as transit goods? C and D in India. Which goods are called as transshipment goods? A and B, transshipment goods. Which goods are called imported goods into India? Only product A, import goods in India, because ultimate destination to the product A is in India. Therefore, imported goods product A. Levy of import duty if and if only on product A, but not on product B. Product B is temporarily landed at Mumbai port for the further transshipment to a place outside India, which is not leviable to duty of import. So from this entire story, there may be a question going to come. Answer to question number 1. What are the goods or transit goods in India? C and D. What are the goods or transshipment goods? A and B. What are the goods or imported goods in India? Only product A. Each one 2 marks, 6 marks. I can prepare the question like this if I am the paper setter. Further, referring here, my dear sir, entry inwards to the vessel, entry outwards to the vessel, entry inwards to the vessel. Entry inwards to the vessel takes place only when the entry outwards granted somewhere else. That means, look here, entry outwards to the vessel, meaning what? A vessel, let us say Gina and Company vessel, intended to move from Chennai port to South Africa. I want to export the goods to South Africa. As exporter, I do not know which vessel is going from Chennai port to the port of South Africa, African country. There is a steamer agent who should first and foremost obtain a particular permission from Department of Customs by filing the application for entry outward, application for entry outward, application for entry outward. Application for entry outward. Entry outward what? Entry outward of the vessel. When should submit? 14 days in advance. Suppose if I wanted to, my vessel is going to be set to sail from Chennai port, let us say on 15th of December. On 15th of December, I should submit prior to 1st of December, being a steamer agent, application for entry outward to Department of Customs. Sir, please give the permission for exporting of my goods, goods in my vessel. My vessel intended to sail, set to sail from Chennai port on 15th of December. Now I am submitting the application for the want of entry outward to my vessel to carry the goods. Rather, when should I submit? As a steamer agent, 14 days prior to the date of departure. Means 15th of December my vessel is going to departure. Prior to 1st of December, I should have been submit application for entry outward. Department of Customs verifies, Gina and company, you want to carry the goods. Okay, you are regularly carrying the goods. Fine. We are giving the permission. Entry outward granted. Entry outward granted to whom? To the vessel. If so, to the aircraft. Then only the exporters can permit it to load the goods into the vessel or aircraft. That is called entry outward to the vessel. Suppose if I submitted the shipping bill well before permission granted to the vessel, entry outward, my shipping bill I submit in Department of Customs will be deemed to be submitted only after the entry outward granted to the vessel. Shipping bill should containing in which vessel I am exporting the goods. Department will verify to that vessel. Our office has been given the permission of entry outward on their application. Yes. So, to that vessel only you are permitted to export if you mention the name of the vessel in the shipping bill. So, Department of Customs verifies, oh, you want to export the goods in the Gina and company vessel. To that vessel we granted entry outward. Yes, Mr. Exporter, you are allowed to export your goods are general goods, not a prohibited goods, not a restricted goods, allowed to export only, you export the goods. Such a permission given by the Department of Customs on the shipping bill only for exporting the goods into that vessel, to that vessel already entry outward granted. Now the goods has been loaded into that vessel and the in charge of the vessel, master issued the bill of lading to all exporters. That copy departure manifest submit in the office of the customs. Department permitted, let export. Then the vessel started to move from Chennai port towards South African country. Importer is located. From the importer country point of view, my departure manifest from exporter point of view, from importer point of view, departure manifest is called as arrival manifest. At the same time, the vessel reaching to South African country port, destination country, there what you have been obtained from exporter country, entry outwards, similarly from the importer country point of view, should submit before you arrives to the port or airport, you submit what? Import manifest. Department of Customs verifies. All the goods are allowed to import. Permission is there. Our government not restricting any goods which is not prohibited goods. Then the Department of Customs in South Africa will give the permission to the vessel in charge, master, for unloading the goods on the dock. That is called as entry inwards to the vessel. Without entry inwards granted at the importer country, customs, the person in charge of the vessel not allowed to unload the goods on the docks. It is called as entry inwards to the vessel. Further, my dear friends, nowadays verification of identity and compliance is important because the fake exports should be avoided. The principal commissioner will insist whether you are an existing person or you are a fake company, that all they can verify with the help of their Aadhaar and all. Sometimes physical verification also may take place to grant the permission if the need arises. With this, my dear friends, I have referred to you extreme manner the basic concepts. Now, the taxable event and the customs. I am requesting all my beloved friends. Today itself, I am going to post my Rafi Sir IDT Guru YouTube channel, where I have been recently only your earlier batch for CA final. I have covered taxable event and the customs. Only 18 minutes, less than half a minute. That video I am going to post. Please go through that. Then you can ask me doubts in the class, I can explain, or otherwise I can say that taxable event and customs is completed by sending that particular open video to all of you, to your group. At this point of time, I am concluding session. Continuation by tomorrow at 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Please adhere to come by 6 a.m. My dear friends, we will be able to, our target to complete our syllabus by end of this week. Please cooperate. Thank you. Thank you to one and all.